I think the market over the past few weeks has come to the realization that the Fed will move this year, definitely, and it looks like they will move in the next 2 to 3 months. It's very unlikely for the Fed to make that case and then not follow through. One of the things that we looked at our business very closely is the Walmart result. Now, it's one corporate, it's one company, but when you read through and you see the size of Walmart and the extent to which Walmart beat earnings expectations, that for us paints a really interesting picture around the US economy. It's very consistent with the type of argument and conversation that the US Fed is having, and therefore we think that the Fed will definitely move, and the market has somewhat priced that in over the next 2 to 3 months.
Okay. Okay, it's a pretty long time frame there. You think the Fed will definitely move, but what are we talking about here? Are we talking about June? Markets are pricing in, say, about a slightly less than a 1 in 3 chance of that. Or is it July, where markets are pricing in higher than 60% odds, I think, of a move? Or are we talking about September?
Well, I think we've come into this habit now in the markets where we try to pick really short-term movements. And I think that's really dangerous, because you can take a certain comment made by a certain Fed member on a certain evening, and if you're exposed to that, you could be on the wrong side of that trade. And I think the smart money is probably thinking more along the medium term. I think probably June, July looks like a greater than 50% chance. I don't read too much into market pricing of those movements, because anything can happen. But usually what happens is a consensus is built. Central banks now make their argument into the media, into the mainstream before moving, so that there aren't really any shocks that we may have seen 10 or 20 years ago in central bank policy. That case has been made. So sure, I think June or July is probably a lot more likely than where it was a couple of months ago.